Here we are at the old Braves wigwam, and 25 years ago the first game was set here, many years ago for most people. But for me, 25, 26, probably even 28 years ago when it first started, the Bendigo Braves were a country team playing in the country championships and going to a few tournaments here and there. We joined the V.B.A, the Victorian Basketball Association in Melbourne, in the 3rd Division, which we thought was pretty spectacular at the time. So from there we just kept working hard towards getting in the 1st Division of the V.B.A, and hence the S.E.A.B.L, which took a lot of work from a lot of people, and we did have a lot of people helping us here at Bendigo. But it did get there. We got awarded by a few other teams, in front of a few other teams, and we got in the S.E.A.B.L, and hence our work just started. We had to import obviously Americans and coach our players and get our sponsorship and the media in Bendigo. And everyone in Bendigo as a country town just got behind us and supported us fantastically.
1985 was the year, and after much frantic organisation and negotiating, the Bendigo Braves were finally on their way. With a team built around Olympian Mel Dalglish, Mo Moseby and Charles Rose, the Braves' first ever imports, as well as local players Mick Spear, Rod Weehee, Bruce Bennett, John Kalatis, Rod Mills, John Lucas, Paul Morris, Steve Kelly and a 15-year-old Justin Cass. The Bendigo Braves played their first game in the S.E.A.B.L on April 26, 1985. In front of a packed crowd at West Bendigo Stadium, the Braves tipped off against the Chelsea Gulls, storming home to a victory by 10 points. A parochial home crowd cheering all the way, along with team mascot Tonto and the City Club cheerleaders.
Well, the first game against Chelsea, what a relief. I remember actually going out to the top of the old stadium and seeing a queue lined up, well, almost over to Goldie's motel over the road, and it was a great sense of relief to see a huge crowd.
One of your old stamping grounds too. Goldie's just quietly, Mick. Hey?
Yeah, there was.
You cut a few out of the pack there, mate.
Grab a granny nights were fairly popular out there. But yes, the first game was just fantastic. We beat Chelsea, I think, by about 10 points, and they'd actually won the championship the previous year.
We put on dances from the City Club, we had smoke coming out, we had lights turned off. We tried to make it a spectacular show. We got a mascot called with Paul Trainer, who was our Tonto, and how he did that job. I mean, in the middle of winter when we were playing basketball, he got pretty well naked, and out he came and ran around a lot, screamed a lot, and the kids absolutely loved him and the opposition hated him.
It was also very important because if we started to lose some impetus, Tonto knew to throw some lollies out on the floor, and all the children would then rush onto the floor, much to the disgust of the referees, and stop the game, which gave us time to get our thoughts back together again.
The Braves finished their first S.E.A.B.L season in a credible 8th position, with 14 wins and 13 losses. But star recruit Mel Dalglish dropped a bombshell at season's end, returning to the NBL with the Canberra Cannons. The search was on to find a suitable replacement to take the Braves to greater heights. '86 started with a number of changes, both to the playing roster and coaching staff. The Braves secured the services of unknown US import Mark Ridlin, as well as bringing in former NBL players Frank Goldfinch and Peter Myers to strengthen the team. A falling out between club administration and coach Tom Flavin saw Bernie Harrower take over mid-season, guiding the team to a respectable result in the S.E.A.B.L.
Yeah, Russell Wallace came and seen me at the canteen and wanted me to get involved in managing the Braves back in those days, and actually got involved in coaching basketball from that time on. Was the assistant coach to Mel Dalglish in the first year of the Braves in the S.E.A.B.L, which was 1985, if I remember correctly. And in the second year, actually coached the Braves for the last half of the season after the demise of Tom Flavin.
A new era of Braves basketball began the following season. David Flint arrived from the West Australian State League as player-coach, and sharp-shooting US guard DJ Johnson was recruited as his on-court partner.
In my first year here, we were in first place for all but 3 or 4 weeks that year. In the end, with a couple games left, we were 14-4. We were in first place. We lost a tight game at home, and then we went on the road. Our last game I lost by about 5 points as well. So we were 14-6, and we kind of missed out on first place by 1 game, but then didn't make the top 4. That's a bit rough.
The Flint-Johnson duo would become the cornerstone of the team in coming seasons.
Both of them actually were tremendous people, both on and off the court. DJ actually was probably the star. In fact, he was the star as far as Bendigo was concerned. But in my opinion, David Flint was almost as good a player as DJ.
Heading into 1988, expectations were high. After a disrupted but productive 1987, the Braves looked to be in a good position. A new management team and an on-court attack led by the Triple Ds, Flint, Johnson and David Becks, had the Braves firing on all cylinders. Justin Cass stepped up to the point guard role, and along with stalwarts Mick Spear, Steve Kelly and Rod Weehee, the team remained unbeaten at home during the regular season. Entering their first finals campaign, confidence was high. The Braves played the Bulleen Boomers in an absorbing final. An amazing 70-point haul from DJ Johnson led the Braves to a gutsy victory, in the process becoming the first country team to take out the championship.
The Bendigo Braves have done it. There's the score. The Bendigo 121. The Bulleen Boomers 118.
So we had a great 4-year run. We won 1. But had things went the way that we felt they should have went, we had a great chance to win 3 of them.
I can still remember the Bendigo crowd at that game were just fantastic. The chants and the clapping. The end of that game, I think everyone just went berserk.
Mate, I remember Lammy gave everyone this little concoction on the way to the game. Had brought out these little plastic drink bottles. I don't know what he'd mixed up in it, but every player on the team had some of that, whatever, I don't know whether it was steroids or what it was, except for one, David Johnson.
Yes.
Now he's the only one. He scored 132 points that game, and no one else could actually stand up. I reckon Lamby had slipped everyone a mickey.
I think it was...
Might have been working for the opposition.
No, I think it was a David Johnson, Graham Lamb conspiracy to make sure he scored a lot of points.
But I'll just say with him too is I mean, my first 2 years here with him, he scored 50 points per game. Now, if you look at all the times the Braves players have played, there's probably only 2 or 3 guys who have played here who have scored 50 points in a game, and he scored 50 points per game his first couple of years here. And that is just a huge feat for those who have played the game and for those who've seen him play.
1988 also saw the birth of the Braves' war cry, the team song, played at all home games since.
Bendigo, Bendigo, we are the Braves. Bendigo, Bendigo, we're number one.
The euphoria of 1988 carried over into the 89 season, with the Braves again performing well. Despite the retirement of key player Rod Weehee, the team again reached the finals, defeated by arch-rival Ballarat in the championship game. An end-of-season trip to America also proved vital, securing the services of DJ Johnson for the 1990 season and providing valuable experience to the younger Braves players.
At that time, David Flint organised a tour of the States, which was the first time that an S.E.A.B.L club had toured the States. It was very successful. Probably the area that it wasn't as successful was when they arrived at Tullamarine. They found that the travel agent had forgot to bring his passport, so he couldn't go on the tour at that stage and had to catch them later on.
1990 was a tumultuous year. Star player DJ Johnson returned to the US at season's end, and Bendigo local Justin Cass moved to NBL team the Hobart Devils. Both players' singlets retired to hang above the Braves' home court. On court, the Braves finished a successful season, again featuring in the finals. During the year, the Braves' home court, the Wigwam, also became a casualty of progress, making way for a much improved West Bendigo Stadium, to be known from this point on as the Schweppes Centre.
People probably don't realise we had a couple of pipes off 2 or 3 of the poker machines, and the money just used to go straight into the Braves' coffers. I can probably say that now. I don't think that's illegal, is it?
I don't think that was public
No, no. One of them
In
went
fact,
to
I don't think it was true.
One of them went to the Lady Braves too, I think, just quietly. They like a bit of shopping. But anyway, the other thing I think has been great about the state, look, I think it's the best stadium, going. It's absolutely fantastic facility. And so many of the Braves players and that have been employed there, and basically none of them have ever worked.
And yeah, well,
None of them have actually done
right.
anything.
And it's well, they were led well out of the stadium up
You-
until, in that regard, up until 2004. But I believe it's really kicked on since then.
Yeah,
and,
things apparently in
they've,
Bendigo are really
sharpened
booming
the management and
since you've left.
Another season and another Braves superstar called time on an illustrious career. In 1992, Mick Spears' number 10 singlet was retired to the Sky Lounge, a relief to opposition players that the big man was no longer lining up against them. On court, the team struggled, finishing with a 13-11 record and missing out on the finals.
Officials admit the game went Launceston's way in the first half until Bendigo lashed out with consistent defence.
Our defense intensity picked up. We knew who the people on Launceston we had to stop. And Derek had a huge game. He, as you know, had 46 points.
It's the second consecutive week that Sanders, one of 2 American imports, has top scored with 46 points. The Braves continued to shrug off the Tigers despite lacking height. David Becks came to life in the second half, shooting 23 points, with fellow player David Flint scoring 26 in what's been described as one of the fastest games at West Bendigo. The Braves eventually downed the Launceston Tigers by 9 points, 127 to 118.
By the end of the 1993 season, the Braves had slumped to their worst ever result. Even more concerning, rising debt had pushed the club to the brink, and despite the best efforts of those working behind the scenes, a pivotal point had been reached. The future of the Bendigo Braves was at stake. A consortium of local businesses and basketball identities was formed and a plan established to pay out all the debts and start afresh.
Well, you're going to get a breath of fresh air in here. You are going to get a new board. You're going to get guys who want to commit themselves. They're going to have a share in the club. They're going to have a stake in the club.
This proved a false dawn, and it wasn't until Steve De La Viaga arrived that the Braves found their off-court champion to turn their flagging fortunes around.
I mean, he did a great deal for them, the club off the floor as well. He came here in 1994, but Steve could score as well.
I was seconded, one of the many seconded by Steve De La Viaga, to get the Braves up and firing, to raise money, to get a great team on the court. Previously to that, I'd come along as just a good spectator and a great supporter and had a great time. And then Steve got me roped in, and then it was just a juggernaut after that.
Braves management and supporters were optimistic their luck had changed for the 94 season. David Flint again stepped into the familiar role of player-coach, and Steve Giles had joined Steve De La Viaga to form a formidable on-court trio.
Let's see if we can play hard and have a chance to win. And we're 5-2 and we're doing some good things. And my hope is that we're learning how to win basketball games here in Bendigo, which is something they haven't done in 3 or 4 years.
Along with these notable arrivals, experienced players Steve Kelly, David Becks and the ever-improving Richard Horbury completed a strong starting 5. In a complete turnaround to previous seasons, the Braves stormed to a 17-7 regular season, falling to Ballarat in the first round of finals. 1994 also saw the return of the Lady Braves. After limited success in the early 90s and a brief absence, the The women returned to the C.B.A. under coach Murray Tressida, competing as the only country team in the competition.
Our away record has been magnificent this year, but we seem to be under some pressure at home. We've had a series of meetings off the court and we've trained very well this week, and it's important we pick this one up to get some momentum for the last 6 games, which are all at home.
I first started with the senior representative team in '93, so I was in year 11. My first training, I didn't have my licence to get to training, and I really want to thank Nina Cass for picking me up day in day out in taking me to training, because it's really tough when you're fairly young to try and get there.
Back on track, the Braves entered the '95 season minus 2 key members. Steve Kelly, a member of the original 1985 team, and David Becks headed into retirement after years of service, through good and bad.
With the US players that have played there, I've seen a whole heap of them come through the ranks. Probably Steve Kelly, Justin Cass, Mick Spear, and Dave Becks would be my top 4. I mean, they were the core of my team here my first 5 or 6 years.
Kelly, honoured by the Braves with his number 8 singlet, retired after 242 games. A strong season saw the Braves finish 3rd with a 13-9 record, bowing out early in the finals. This Steve D and Steve G show leading from the front, while the Lady Braves recorded 10 wins for the year, missing out on finals.
His surname may be a journalist's nightmare, but his presence is unmistakable. A favourite with Bendigo basketball followers, it's hard to find a local athlete with a higher profile than Stevie D. Born in Oakland, California, Steve dreamed of going to college, a luxury in the States which doesn't come cheap. He took up basketball at 13. But it took a split in the family ranks for him to realise his potential.
If my folks hadn't gotten divorced, I probably wouldn't have been as committed as I had to be, because I could have just kind of floated through school, played a couple sports, and then gone on to, But once my father left, we didn't have the income for me to continue to just kind of float through it.
Momentum began to grow, and when Justin Cass, one of Bendigo's favourite sons, returned from NBL team Geelong Supercats for the 1996 season, the scene was set for a stellar year. On court, the Braves made it to the finals, falling again at the semi-finals stage to finish 3rd with a 16-9 win-loss record. The Lady Braves also enjoyed a strong season. Under the guidance of returning coach Bernie Harrower, the team played their way to 4th on the back of an 18-6 record.
Yeah, very pleased. The girls are good. We've got a good group of girls. They get on really well together. They train hard, and everything's looking real good at the moment for us to make the playoffs for the first time ever, so that'd be great.
Bowing out at the elimination finals stage of their first S.E.A.B.L. finals campaign. Backing up the following season, the Lady Braves enjoyed another impressive year. Heading into the finals from 4th position, it was, however, a season of missed opportunity. The women running into a red-hot Frankston in the semi-final game.
I think the keys to this year's team will be we're going to have more depth. I think some of the young guys have stepped up, and with the lack of size, we have a bit more quickness than we've had last year, and I think that should help.
The Braves also received their share of adulation, coming off an indifferent 13-11 regular season record to fall in the quarterfinals. Throughout 1998, the Braves enjoyed limited success, and by season's end, they had missed the playoffs, finishing in a 5th placing. Steve Guild further disappointing the Bendigo basketball fraternity, more specifically Bendigo's single women population, at season's end, with news he was to return to the US. The Lady Braves, however, were finding their feet. Led by Mandy Henderson, Nina Cass and a young Andrea Walsh, the team began to build towards greater things, finishing the season in 3rd place after a semi-final elimination.
Henderson's enjoyed playing back on her old stomping ground. She spends the summer months playing for the Bulleen Boomers in the National League and has returned to Bendigo for the C.B.A. season.
It's just been something that I've really wanted to do, to come back and play with my sister as well, and just becoming a part of the Bendigo team again.
It was a bright start to the 1999 season as new US import Ricky Daniels arrived after a Big V stint with Gippsland. In the first of 2 sessions with the Braves, Ricky D would soon become a key figure, developing a cult status among the Bendigo faithful.
Just always been a team player and, just get everybody involved and win some games.
I sort of half adopted Ricky as an adopted son when he came here because he was a single guy, didn't know many people, but it didn't take very long for him to fit in and become a legend that he is here in Bendigo.
The men finished a competitive season on the back of a hard-fought 18-12 record to finish in 3rd place.
Hey, they are not that good. Let's go. Right.
Ricky D taking out the prestigious S.E.A.B.L MVP in the process. A dominant display during the 99 season had the Lady Braves in a great position to win their first championship. On the back of an imposing 18-2 win-loss record, a boisterous home crowd and a confident basketball team, the Lady Braves claimed their first S.E.A.B.L championship.
I can't think of it. I think I was just so happy. We were all jumping around crazy, but it's probably the happiest moment of my whole basketball life, I suppose.
Look, it was disbelief in the first instance that we'd actually won the game. I guess it's what we've been striving for the last 4 years. So to win it was just fantastic, and the effort by all the girls was just great.
The turn of a new century and the complexion of Braves basketball had changed once more. Popular Braves identity and key player Steve De La Viaga had returned to the States after persistent knee injury throughout the 99 season, taking with him a swag of scoring titles and 4 consecutive team MVP awards. Steve D's departure sent shockwaves through the Bendigo community.
Well, we thought it had never happened. The great man leaving Bendigo, who would have thought about it? He seems to have been here since the city started. What am I talking about? Yes, Stevie D. He's leaving Bendigo and going back to live in the United States. See this? The black armband, it's a sign of sorrow for the loss of the Big D man.
No, it is really very sad. He will be missed greatly from Bendigo basketball. He has done a fantastic job.
In fact, if Steve hadn't have got hurt, I still would have cut him and took his spot, and I was going to wear number 7 as well.
All the best, Stevie D, from the Bendigo All-Star Braves.
His famous number 7 singlet retired to hang alongside an ever-increasing list of former greats. On court, the Braves toughed out a 3rd place finish, going down in a semi-final matchup against Kilsyth. Rolling on from championship success the previous season, the Lady Braves enjoyed another standout year, backing up to take out the 2000 S.E.A.B.L Championship and the A.B.A National Championship, defeating Nunawading to claim both titles. Nina Cass, Christy Harrower and Michelle Fletcher, the stars for the Lady Braves.
Set a new up-tempo Brave.
This year, we're going back-to-back.
We'll be running and gunning and slamming and jamming.
Quick and explosive moves.
Come see me and Ricky D slam us home.
What time is it?
Game time!
Only at the S.E.A.B. Centre.
Leading into 2001, the Lady Braves were expecting another bumper season. Led from the front by form players Karen Ashby, Michelle Fletcher and Andrea Walsh, the women's golden run looked set to continue, finishing the season with an enviable 18-4 win-loss record. It wasn't to be, however, as the women stumbled at the final hurdle, defeated by Dandenong in the championship decider. The men, meanwhile, slumped to 7th place, with 13 wins in a season of missed opportunity to finish outside the playoffs.
New import Mike Spears unstoppable at both ends of the court, while Ben Hunt, Ben Harvey and John Croft were instrumental point scorers.
The start of the game was fantastic. We came out of the blocks running and gunning. John Croft played very well in the first quarter and got us off to a good start.
Tensions were running high on the S.E.A.B. Centre court, Maverick big man Billy Ross picking up an unsportsmanlike foul behind play. It gave the Braves the psychological advantage, Spears following up with a slam dunk.
Another pillar of Braves basketball departed in 2002, with David Flint announcing his retirement. A 16-year association with the Braves in both coaching and playing roles, David's influence and experience was felt by all associated with the club. Playing over 300 games in a magnificent career, David was inducted into the S.E.A.B.L 300 Game Club and also enjoyed 2 Coach of the Year awards.
In the humble words of Bendigo Jetport Braves coach David Flint, his Coach of the Month award is the result of a team effort.
My team has played quite well for the month of June, and we've played 6 games and won 5, and we've been quite consistent this year, so it's nice for me, but it just means to me that our teams get some things done when we step out on the court and play.
On the court, the Braves continued to struggle, grinding out an 11-13 win-loss record. But the Lady Braves showed no signs of slowing, again competing to the last game of the season, failing to capitalise on their strong season to finish runners-up once again. 2003 brought about a fresh look for the Braves. Wayne Larkin stepped into the role of coach and the team began to rebuild and adapt to life without David Flint. Fighting to 13 wins for the season, the team finished 5th. Young guns Chris Hogan, Taylor Bell and Pat Jennings featuring prominently. It was, however, a double-edged sword, with club legend Justin Cass calling an end to his memorable career after 306 games in the S.E.A.B.L, joining David Flint in the S.E.A.B.L 300 Game Club. The Lady Braves again displayed all that is Braves basketball, finishing the regular season strongly with a 19-5 record and finally breaking through to take their second S.E.A.B.L championship after 2 years as runners-up.
When you get to grand finals, sometimes nerves can get you a little bit, but I thought our energy at the finish of the game was and the crowd here were fantastic, and I think that was what got us over the line.
Andrea Walsh scored 19 points and earned grand final MVP honours.
One of the best wins I think I've played in. You know, we were in that 4th quarter, just a great team effort. We were down and out, 10 points down. What can I say?
A fitting farewell to retiring Karen Henderson, the Lady Braves champions in 2003 and ready for a home court assault on the A.B.A titles this weekend.
Spurred on by this breakthrough, the Lady Braves continued on to become A.B.A champions also for the 2nd time.
To be able to win those championships on your home court in front of all those people that you've grown up with has meant so much to me, and I'll never, ever, ever forget it.
By the 2005 season, an air of confidence had returned to the Braves. Sean Redditch had signed from northwest Tasmania, and along with the likes of Ben Harvey, Sam Fotu and Jason Cameron, the team began to live up to expectation and deliver on court. Finishing the season with 19 wins, the Braves entered the finals full of fight, walking away with the S.E.A.B.L championship.
It's unbelievable. You know, you work hard all year and it comes down to one game at the end of the season. So all the guys pulled in and we made it tough tonight. We did 2 weeks ago, but a win's a win and we'll take it any way we get it.
I'm just wrapped, just ecstatic, you know, like, been waiting for this for a long time.
And powering on to record a maiden A.B.A championship victory.
The Braves trailed for the first half with the usual suspects still finding form, but battling to contain the lights of Graham Dan and Chris Stauber. Chris Novak manoeuvred his way around the opposition to get the Braves back on the scoreboard. But the half-time deficit blew out to 17 points. The Braves regrouped and stepped their defensive game up a notch. Jason Cameron shut down Graham Dan in the second half, while the guards fed Redditch, who eventually went on to score 47 points. But it was a free throw to Sam Fotu that secured the victory.
Even at half-time, we knew that we were in there with a chance. I kind of said to the guys that, just be under control, still keep it under control. You know, nothing's different, nothing's changed. We've still got a chance to kind of get this, just get composure back, we're fine.
And while Jason Cameron was named MVP for the match, Larkins is intent on paying tribute to the unsung heroes.
Ben Harvey and Sam Fotu, probably our 2 smaller players that threw their weight around the most and really got in and did some damage defensively and took some real hard hits and some knocks and some bumps, but it was those 2, along probably with Chris Novak, that really turned the corner for us.
The Lady Braves delivered a split season with 11 wins and 11 losses to finish outside playoff contention for the 2nd year in a row, and only 2 seasons after tasting championship glory.
Denver Pembroke is the Braves' star American recruit for 2006. This week on Bounce, we catch up with him.
How have you settled into the side so far?
Everything's went pretty well, actually. I'm just kind of trying to learn the plays right now and that kind of stuff because everybody's kind of had a head start on me. So, but I'm learning stuff pretty fast. I'm pretty much into it.
And where are you seeing your role on the court?
I mainly play perimeter-wise. I play like a 2-3. I'm going to be probably more of a, probably one of the main offensive guys, and hopefully defensively as well. It's something I'm kind of getting used to the system a little bit as far as where we're helping and where we're not. But it should be a pretty big factor, so hopefully it'll go well.
Expectations were high for both the men's and women's teams at the start of 2006. The Braves had enjoyed their best season to date in 05, and the pressure to go back-to-back was immense. While the Lady Braves, still smarting from 2 seasons without finals, were out to make amends. Motivation was no problem for either team, and at season's end, both the Braves and Lady Braves had recorded impressive 19-7 win-loss records. However, in a night of mixed emotions in front of a packed S.E.A.B. Centre home crowd, the Lady Braves powered through to win their 4th S.E.A.B.L title.
Her 21-point haul led the Braves to a 14-point grand final win. Karen Ashby was named the league's most valuable player for the season, but it was the championship flag that belonged to the Lady Braves, with coach Bernie Harrower dedicating the win to his absent daughter.
Last thing I'll say is this one's for Christy. Thank you.
I actually nearly went to tears with 6 minutes to go. I should have been focused, but I couldn't help it. It was so emotional game. Like, it was just full on right from the word go. Everyone was just pumped, basically.
Walshy got hot and set the team alight, and then everybody jumped on her back and got piggybacked all the way home.
We all stepped up. Everyone played a great game, and we knew we could get it done.
The men, however, after dominating all season, couldn't take advantage of a big home crowd, going down to Knox in the decider, a loss that would prove ammunition for the season to come.
They deserved their win. They probably outplayed us, which is disappointing in the fact that we had a really brilliant year and really would have capped it off with a great victory today, but Knox were deserved winners, unfortunately.
2007 began with a confident Bendigo basketball community again expecting great things from their team. In a dominant display, both the Braves and Lady Braves powered through the year, and on the back of inspirational players such as Ben Harvey and Christy Harrower, collected S.E.A.B.L championships, confirming the strength of regional basketball in the process.
You just didn't know what was going to happen until the last minute of play, so theoretically it was how a grand final was supposed to be, and just so proud and so pleased that we're on the right end of that.
2 of the Braves' brightest stars chose the euphoria of championship success to bow out of the game. Ben Harvey and Michelle Fletcher retiring after many seasons of Braves basketball.
It was just awesome. I'm speechless, to win 5 championships. This is it. This is the fairy tale, and that's what I wanted to happen.
Michelle became the first Lady Brave to have her singlet retired after an outstanding 308 games in Braves colours, joining the S.E.A.B.L 300 game club in the process. While Ben's retirement after 165 games for the Braves also saw his number 4 singlet retired to hang with previous Braves champions. After the elation of dual championships in 2007, the 2008 season presented more challenges. Coming off a mixed season, recording a 14-12 win-loss record to finish 3rd, the Braves were sent to Knox to play for back-to-back S.E.A.B.L championships.
We've got to contain their scoring. They've got, a couple of guys that are potentially injured, but we're assuming they're going to play.
Unfortunately, it proved too much, the men going down in a tight contest. The Lady Braves again showed the benefit of a stable playing roster, taking the lead all season to record 19 wins and just 5 losses. However, success deserted the team in the playoffs, bowing out in the preliminary final. The Lady Braves suffered a greater loss in coach Bernie Harrower. After 13 seasons with the women's team, various S.E.A.B.L and A.B.A titles, as well as 5 Coach of the Year awards, Bernie signed on to become head coach of the newly created Bendigo Spirit in the national competition.
With the success we had with the Lady Braves in the S.E.A.B.L over such a long period of time, it was part of the reason why we decided over the last 4 years to put the Spirit in the WNBL, and as most people now realise, that's been highly successful as well, and all goes to show the product that we have here in Bendigo with Bendigo basketball, with the Braves, Lady Braves through to the Spirit, that Bendigo is certainly a basketball town, and you know, it's just been an enormous journey for me, and something I've been proud of, and something I've been extremely fortunate to be involved in, and you know, I got that through the Braves and the Lady Braves, and it created a coaching career for me that I probably would never have had otherwise.
2009 began with a new-look Lady Braves roster. New coach Jeremy Moule coming on board to head a strong team, the likes of Andrea Walsh and eventual S.E.A.B.L MVP Kelly Wilson providing on-court strength. Ambition went unfulfilled, however, as the Lady Braves lost in the playoffs, defeated at the preliminary final stage. Long-serving Lady Braves player Andrea Walsh chose season's end to announce her retirement.
Listen, I've certainly been fortunate enough to win, 5 championships here and 3 national championships, and I'm extremely proud to finish my career as captain of the Lady Braves and be given that opportunity.
Andrea became the second Lady Brave player to have her singlet retired. Over 300 games, 3 Braves MVP awards and a league MVP award in 2003, a testament to Walsh's massive contribution. The Braves also endured a tough season, and after finishing with 11 wins and just scraping into the playoffs in 4th position, men bowed out at the semi-final stage. A revitalised Braves organisation confronted the 2010 season. A new playing strip, management shake-up and changes to both playing and coaching rosters presented a fresh approach to the season ahead.
Yeah, we're ready. I mean, we've played 6 pre-season games, we've been training since November, so I think everyone's, ready to get out there.
The Lady Braves, led by new coach Lucas Carey, and a playing roster including Jane Chalmers, Karen Harrington, Lauren King and Commonwealth Games gold medalist Katrina Hibbert, battled through the year, finishing a long season with a playoff loss to Brisbane. Ben Harvey returned to the men's team, taking over from Wayne Larkins as head coach. Also returning to the Braves, dual MVP winner Ricky Deeks suited up for a final fling with the Braves. Led by exciting imports Luke Meyer and Ivan McFarlane, as well as local products Warren Randall and Kevin Probert, the Braves enjoyed instant on-court success. Finishing an impressive season with another S.E.A.B.L championship, defeating Knox in front of an ecstatic home crowd. Ricky D using the occasion to bring an end to a brilliant playing career.
Well, it's been 25 years and who knows what's going to be for the next 25 years, but it's been a great journey and we're looking forward to the next 25 years with the club, so go Braves.
It's a long period of time. I really didn't think 25 years. I mean, it sounds okay, but it is a long time in someone's life. So to see the Bendigo Braves survive for 25 years and obviously continuing on as just as strong, it's a fantastic feat for Bendigo, and I wish the Bendigo Braves all the luck. I've given them always my support through the years, and I do wish them everything they can go for.
This has been a great club with a great tradition for a long time, with a lot of terrific people all the way through from the start of the Braves right through till now. Look, I'm just so thankful for the years that I had in the Braves until early 2000s. I was involved, and and I'm so grateful. I love coming to the games now, and the Braves have just been so good for Bendigo, so good for all the young people that are involved in basketball in Bendigo, and I hope another 25 years is on the cards for the Bendigo Braves. Go Braves!
The Braves, in my opinion, have been an absolute credit to basketball and a credit to Bendigo, and I wish them all the very, very best for the future.
From my point of view, I want to certainly thank all the people with the Bendigo Basketball Association. I don't need to mention names because they certainly all know who they are, but most of all I want to thank my family and my mum and dad and my brother, who's certainly got me to such a successful career here with the Lady Braves.
Certainly met a lot of great people and some good friends over the years, and you know, it's been a credit to Bendigo and the people involved on what we've achieved over 25 years of the Braves, Lady Braves, and now for me going into the Spirit. It's been a sensation. I'd just like to wish everybody a great night tonight. Unfortunately, I can't be there. I'm away with the Spirit. Certainly would have loved to have been there, and just hope everybody has a great night. And for all those people that have been involved with me over the years, thank you very much for all your support, and good luck to the Braves, and hopefully in another 25 years I might still be around. Thank you.
Anyway, we'd like to probably wish everyone the best, and just to let people know that Coral Sea Villas are currently doing a bit of a special deal up here in beautiful Port Douglas. So, see if you could just bring the camera across Coral Sea Villas.
We'll beat it or match it by 5%.
A free night we'll throw in.
Well,
cheers, everybody.
Better get back to cleaning the pool.
Yeah, see you soon. See you, Mick.
See you, Bruno.
We'll catch you around, mate.